Hi, my name is Teresa. I am a woman, wife, and mother conquering chronic illness, and here is my year-end review. Hey, could you do me a favor? Subscribe, and I'll see you in the comment section down below. So, we made it to the end of the year. Thank God. This time last year, I was in an extreme amount of pain. I was pretty much in the house all the time. I wasn't working. I was unable to do any sort of exercise. My stomach was horrible. My anxiety and my depression was raging out of control. I was just a mess. And so at the beginning of the year, my goal was to have the tools in place to manage my mental health, my physical health, my personal relationships, and to be able to work. That was the goal for me going forward through 2022. And I feel like on most of those fronts, I was able to, pull it together with a ton of help. So I'm going to go over how I am on each one of those points and tell you how I did it and what I plan to do next year going forward. Okay, so first, let's go over the different aspects of my physical health. I was really struggling with a lot of pain at the end of last year, and the goal was to get the right doctors and to figure out what was going on with my body. So I was already diagnosed with interstitial cystitis, right? And that was well managed. I was having horrible pain in my joints, horrible fatigue, horrible stomach issues. I had already been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, so my idea was I just needed to manage the fibromyalgia. Went to a new doctor. Yes, you need to manage your fibromyalgia. You also need to manage your psoriatic arthritis, because that's a new diagnosis. And so with the help of the doctor and his team and my physician assistant, I've been able to manage the symptoms of fibromyalgia and psoriatic arthritis with lifestyle changes. I have to manage my energy, usually with spoon theory, just managing like how much energy do I have today, what do I have to do, and what can I actually do with the energy that I have. Medication. I take my medicine every day, y'all. Like I have tried different diets. I have tried different supplements and natural things. I need pharmaceutical drugs to manage my conditions, and I have come to terms with that, and it is okay. Because my life is so much better now. And it's a shame that I should say that, because I know there's some people who feel like if they have to take a prescription drug to manage a health condition, then they have failed. And I think my dad asked me one time, because he has all sorts of health issues and feels like he shouldn't have to take medicine. But he asked me, don't you want to be off of all of those drugs? Not if I can't manage my health without it. Like, chronic illness is just that, chronic. The nature of the diagnosis that I will have these conditions for the rest of my life, and if it takes a drug to manage them, then so be it. If I can do it without, sure, but getting off of all of my medication is not my goal. My goal is to manage and have a healthy, happy life. That's the goal. So I take my meds, I manage my energy, I'm realistic with my expectations about what my body should feel like. I have a autoimmune condition where my immune system attacks my joints. And so I don't have a lot of pain. Some stiffness I'm okay with, as long as, I can function, and I'm not hurting my body more. The diagnosis isn't progressive for psoriatic arthritis, but your joints will deteriorate if the condition is not managed. So medication, lifestyle change, I've started exercising again, but like, you know, I spoke about before, I do what I can do on the days that I can do it, and that looks different every single day, and I'm okay with that. I have grown to be quite okay with that. With the stomach issues, once I managed the physical conditions, the psoriatic arthritis and the fibromyalgia, the stomach issues really disappeared. That and managing my anxiety, which is another thing. My mental health was spiraling out of control, and part of that was because I was physically in a lot of pain and was wreaking havoc in all corners of my life, and that takes a toll on you mentally. Like, not only does the physical nature of the condition affect your mental health, but just how the condition affects your life affects your mental health, and that's perfectly normal. It would be really surprising for me for someone to be in pain every day and their mental health be a-okay, without some sort of coping mechanisms. And for me, the pain was so much that the coping mechanism didn't work. And so I was able to find a psychiatrist who was actually able to work with me. One of the best things I did this year was I took a genetic test to kind of see what medications how my body metabolized different antidepressants, because I had so many side effects, and it was just getting cumbersome to find a medication that would actually help me and wouldn't cause so many side effects that it wouldn't be worth taking, right? And so for my mental health, it was important that I found something that didn't make my physical health work. And so I had a psychiatrist that was willing to work with me, that listened to me when I said, I know this medicine works for most people and it doesn't have a lot of side effects, but for me, it's not just in my head. I feel horrible and I feel worse when I take this medicine, right? And we figured out a medicine that worked for me, and it's going well. Will I have to take this the rest of my life? I don't know. I really don't care. Genuinely don't care. Like, my goal is to be happy and healthy, not to have a short medication list. I don't particularly want to have a ton of medicines, but like, if I have to take some to be happy and healthy, so be it, you know? And getting my anxiety under control has really helped my stomach issues, to where I didn't have to like independently address my stomach issues. Like, they really resolved on their own relatively quickly with the introduction of medicine for psoriatic arthritis and medicine for anxiety. I think I started the anxiety medication first, and I was like, my stomach is starting to feel better. And then a couple of weeks later, I started the psoriatic arthritis medication, and I was like, oh, now my stomach is fine. Amazing how that worked out, but I'm glad it was one less thing I had to deal with. Next comes to being able to work a job. It has been difficult. Finding the right fit for me, because I've talked about it in another video, but like, there are no neurotypical brain cells rattling around in my head. Neurodiversity is not something that skipped a generation, just kind of landed on my kids. She got it from somewhere. She got it from us. And I am still trying to figure out I'm in the process of figuring out what exactly that looks like for me. And while figuring out exactly what label to put on I am not neurotypicalness, I am also simultaneously not waiting on a diagnosis to get some real life skills, life tools to help me manage the fact that my brain just does not work that way. Like, I have issues with overstimulation and sensory overload. I have issues with time blindness and memory and organization. Even with hyper-organization, I'm still somehow unorganized and just, I have issues with interpersonal communication and reading people and understanding the subtle cues of nonverbal communication. I struggle with that. And so with working in a professional setting with professional adults, it makes it really hard. And I'm coming to terms with the difficulty of that and how much difficulty I've had with that over the years, and how much it has hindered my progress professionally. And so, yeah, I have found a job and I have an employment situation that works well for me. My supervisors immediately, and my supervisors in the company are very understanding. Unfortunately, our company works with other companies and sometimes it gets kind of sticky, but I am doing the best that I can. I'm really trying not to give up, because what has happened before is I have gotten really overwhelmed. Perfectionist has taken over, and I've gotten really overwhelmed with the fact that I am not doing as well as I feel like I should be doing, and I quit. Or I've never been fired. Have I ever been fired? No. Like, it has always been me really struggling to manage my expectations around what I feel like I should be able to do, and me just being like, well, I guess I'll quit. And it doesn't help that I have a husband who works, who can support our family, even if it is tight, he can actually do it. So, but I have a job that I like. This is what I told the psychologist who was evaluating me. I have a job that I like, and I don't want to quit. I want to be able to do a good job, but sometimes I feel like if I don't quit, I'm going to get fired. And my supervisor says, "Sure, man, I'm not going to get fired." But I feel like if they're still saying this in a year and I'm still having the struggles that I'm having right now, they might change their mind. Might just change your mind. So, I am trying to work out what's the best way to handle whatever differences I have in my little noggin, and so that I can excel and enjoy working and not be overwhelming, excel and be a benefit to the place that I work, right? And I guess interpersonally, I feel like that is where I am struggling the most. I ain't got no new friends. I got my husband. I got my little faux friends that I've had for the past 20 years. And that's it. I think part of that is adulthood. Like, I made these friends that I have during the time period outside of my family, right? Like, I'm not saying my family isn't my friends, but I'm talking about friends I had to make, right? And so outside of college, I haven't really made any new friends since then. I haven't made any new friends since outside of college. So do I just have 3 friends? No, 4 friends. The same 4 friends that I've kept since college. Those are still the 4 friends that I have now. And I feel like that is more common. I feel like with the energy that I have, I often don't have the energy to socialize. And so I have been honest with myself when it comes to doing outings and extracurricular activities, even family gatherings. I have to know well in advance, and I have to be able to readjust all the other things I do throughout the week so I have the energy for that time frame. Because my goal is not to do things that hinder that cause me to flare, honestly. I don't want to have to spend a day in bed recovering from a social activity, right? But I also want to socialize. And so I haven't quite worked out how to manage that. I have been doing a little bit better with keeping in touch, because what happens when you're not physically socializing with people is you have a tendency, because you're not calling about scheduling the events you just had, or because you're not calling about actual events, you have a tendency not to call. And so I've been making it a point to make sure that I speak on the phone to all of my 4 friends as often as possible to keep up with what's going on in their lives. I have one friend, I still don't think I've met her child yet. But to be fair, the child was born throughout the pandemic. And so we weren't going around breathing in newborn baby faces. But still, like, we got to visit, we got to socialize and stuff like that. And so I think for this next year, one of my goals, and I haven't sat down to do like, what are my goals for 2023? But I think just off top, one of my goals will be to regularly socialize with these friends. I don't think I'm ready to start making new friends yet, but to regularly socialize with the friends that I do have. That is something that I'll have to work on. And there's one more thing I want to talk about. Oh, weight loss. I ain't worried about that. I have to be perfectly honest with you. I don't like being overweight. I am overweight. I am obese, actually. But honestly, like my healthy weight for me is not in the healthy weight range for my BMI. I don't really subscribe to that. I really haven't for about a decade. That don't have nothing to do with chronic illness, and I can't blame it on that. It is when I am exercising and doing the exercises that I love and eating in a way that is healthy, that I'm eating an appropriate amount of calories for my body and the activity that I do. I don't weigh what's in my BMI range. I'm technically overweight. And right now I'm obese, but that's uncomfortable. And so I would like to weigh less. My body is not in a position where I can force it to lose weight. And that is just it. Like, I'm going to continue to maintain some activity level because that is a healthy thing to do. I am going to continue to maintain a healthy way of eating, incorporating lots of nutrition and not depriving myself of any of the other foods that I would like to eat, and not overeating and not binging, which is easier to do when you're not depriving yourself. But other than that, like, I don't have weight loss goals. I think I not gave up, but I set those aside and picked up health goals, and I think those are far more important. And so y'all just gonna be seeing me in this chubby face and this heavier body. I'm still cute though. My jeans ain't changed, huh? Anyway, so how has your year gone? What are some things that you've done really well? Put those in the comment section down below. And I will see you there and in the next video.